This is Bradley Jackson with the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you all for joining us for our most recent edition of the Capitol Beat. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Tennessee General Assembly passing three major pieces of legislation, really milestone workforce pieces that the Tennessee Chamber is very supportive of. So we applaud their efforts in ensuring passage of this. With the pandemic and Tennessee's economic recovery, education and workforce is vitally important. So we really thank Governor Bill Lee and leaders and all members of the Tennessee General Assembly for their work. I know a number of Tennessee Chamber members engaged and communicated to members of the General Assembly, and we're very thankful for that. Today we have with us Jared Bigham, Senior Advisor for Workforce and Rural Policy with the Tennessee Chamber, who's going to give us a broad overview of the legislation, really what it does and how it's going to benefit students and ultimately Tennessee's business climate. So with that, Jared, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a credit to the partner organizations and the leaders in this state that these three pieces of legislation were able to pass as quickly as they were, and especially as long as all three bills were, that there wasn't a lot of nitpicking or people trying to play politics, or it was really what a special session is designed to be, to come in and address something that's urgent in our state. And I think everybody collaborated very well, and we had a great outcome. I think all three bills are going to have a significant impact. So first of all, the literacy bill that will really put everyone at the district level moving in the same direction when it comes to literacy instruction and making sure that we are utilizing high quality instructional materials, and still allow flexibility at the district level and even at the building level for some autonomy in choosing what resources, instructional materials that are used. But it really galvanizes us as a state around literacy, puts an emphasis on some of the key building blocks that we need to all as districts and LEAs need to be focused on and aware of. And we all know literacy is foundation basically of every core subject area. And there's such a ripple effect with proficiency rates in literacy from third grade, fifth grade and on. And so we've tried to put some resources behind this as a state to really help LEAs out in as they're implementing some of the resources and policy initiatives that are embedded in this bill. So there will be help with remediation and making sure students are on grade level in literacy, and it will really give the flexibility with the resources for LEAs to come up with innovations within literacy instruction. But again, I think the biggest piece of this, the Literacy 360 initiative for the state, is that it gets everyone on the same page, district to district, and the state's really taking the lead on what the priorities in literacy should be, on training educators and making sure that we've got not just a high quality teacher in every classroom, which we always strive for, but really enable teachers that are going to be involved in literacy instruction, that they're equipped beyond just what would be normal preparation in either a teacher prep program or in professional development. I really see this as creating a core of special forces teachers in literacy. So I think this is a great piece of legislation that's going to help our state. Then another bill was the learning loss bill that will support districts in after school programs, in summer camps, and then summer bridge programs to help our students recover some of those gaps in their, what I call their learning potential. Not necessarily that they regressed during this pandemic, but they just weren't able to make the gains that they normally would in an in-person environment. So this bill gives resources to districts that enable them to host these after-school camps that have a focus on STEM education and really coming at learning loss recovery through the lens of STEM courses and STEAM courses, and which is aligned with most of those top 15 career paths in our state. And then in the summer, having the learning loss camps, and then these bridge camps that help students recover some of that learning potential. Again, this isn't what would be a typical um, class or course in remediation where a student is behind grade level due to some learning challenges or other factors. This is really meant for all students to help bridge that gap in their learning potential that they have encountered for almost a year now since the pandemic started. Then the accountability legislation takes the pressure off of teachers and administrators and districts for our TN Ready assessments and TCAP assessment program, where we're still going to test and we're still going to try to get the majority of students through those battery of tests at the end of this school year. And but the accountability factor for teachers as far as their evaluation, and schools and districts, that won't be factored in a punitive way. If it helps teachers, then it can be factored in as far as helping them get tenure and things like that. But from a standpoint that it could impact a teacher negatively, or a district or school because of student scores, that will be waived to take that pressure off of educators in a very trying 18 months that ultimately by the time we assess. So, and it also pushes out the assessment date to the end of the school year, which I've been an advocate for since I was a classroom teacher, that we assess at the end of the school year instead of, about 85% of the way through. So I think these are three great pieces of legislation that's really going to help us get back on track as a state and fill in some of those gaps we've been experiencing this past year.
All right. Well, Jared, thank you so much. And to all chamber members, thank you all again for your effort and support to pass this crucial piece of legislation. To Governor Bill Lee, Commissioner Penny Schwinn, and all members of the legislature, we thank you all very much for your efforts. And we will be in touch soon as the legislative session really gets back up and running, comes out of the special session and into the full session. So thank you all.